Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The sniper meta here in Warzone has been kind of awkward, I guess, really ever since the launch of the game, because obviously at first snipers did not have the ability to one-shot. Now that they do, it's definitely changed things up and made snipers a lot more useful, but they are still sort of a niche weapon category because of how the one-shot snipers work this year, obviously requiring the explosive rounds on there, which means that your velocity just gets tanked. However, with the health increase that we saw with the launch of Season 4, now that we have this slower TTK in general, it does bring a serious reward to those who can excel with snipers, because they are now suddenly like the most dominant weapon over long range if you're able to do well with them and accurately, consistently land shots and get those one-shot knocks. Because obviously rifles, LMGs, there are some good ones, but none of them are going to be taking out long range, enemies like a sniper could. So today I wanted to break down the top 5 best sniper setups you want to be using in Warzone right now. Starting first at number 5, I've got the Victus. This is obviously one of the heavier bolt action snipers, so yes, it can one shot. Keep in mind only the bolt action can one shot here. The thing is here though, that this is a slow and heavy sniper, and the slowest and heaviest of the main ones we're talking about here today. The way that I approach one-shot sniping here in Warzone might be a bit different from some other players because it really is playstyle dependent. I'm pretty much, at the point where I realize if you want a quick scope in this game, you have to be a top tier sniper, right? Because even with the slightly slower TTK now, in the mid-range or close range, if you're really trying to be aggressive with a sniper, you miss one shot, that Razorback, that 74U or Chimera, or one of the subs or shotguns, that's going to take you out before you have a chance to hit that second shot. Whereas over range, that's where the snipers excel so much. So I always build my snipers out to be basically the most efficient in long range. So this setup here is pretty much all focused on velocity. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the standard scope on the Victus personally. This is all preference here. So if you're fine with the scope, you could drop the 6.6 times and throw on, a rear grip for ADS or a guard even here. Totally up to you, but for me, I like the 6.6 times scope. It's a nice variable zoom. It works well. You can go either or here with the tuning for the close and far distance. It kind of just depends on your level of comfortability with the scope, but always, of course, tune for that faster ADS on there. 7mm laser for the faster ADS as well. You have to obviously be using the explosive ammo too. You can tune that for better velocity. It's not going to do too much, but it's a little something there. And then I do use the Nil Sound 90 suppressor and the super barrel as well. Now, the super barrel is going to give you less velocity than the Mammoth. However, if you use Mammoth, you can't use a muzzle. So Nil Sound 90 is going to give you plenty of velocity on top of the super barrel. So you're just getting the most velocity back out of combining those two. Basically, the damage range adjustments on these barrels don't matter at all because one-shot damage range is infinite there. You just have to hit that headshot, and that's why velocity is so important. So this is not a super snappy sniper, and that's why it's towards the bottom of the list, but it can still one-shot, and that makes it a big threat in the right hands. Now at number 4, I've got the Intervention, the FJX Imperium. Very similar to the Victus in a lot of ways, still a tad bit slower, but if you're hitting those one-shot headshots, you're going to get easy knocks, right? And that's what makes them so dominant, again, in the right hands. And quite frankly, this setup is going to be very, very similar. Again, I am using the 6.6 optic here once more. I'm just not super huge on the scope that comes by default. It's just a little too zoomed in, but if you're okay with it, once more, going for a bolt for the faster rechambering speed or a rear grip for ADS speed is going to be a good choice too. Explosive ammo, yet again, same deal as always there. 7mm laser, same deal here as well. Of course, tuning for that faster ADS speed. In this case, I'm going for the Nil Sound 90 yet again, where we are tuning for the better velocity and ADS speed once more. Then in this case, I go for the Fahrenheit barrel. That's going to help out with the velocity as well. So really, if you're getting extra velocity out of an attachment in this case, it's going to be a huge benefit, just because using explosive round kills the velocity so much, but it's required for these snipers to be somewhat competitive in the first place, right? So that's the huge entry barrier and skill gap that we've got now with snipers this year, which is why it's such an awkward meta. But if you know what you're doing, you'll learn the bullet drop, you'll learn the bullet lead, you can just dominate, because long range weapons can't compete with a sniper that can one shot. Now at number 3, I will say this is probably the most fun setup we've got today. This is the SPX 80, which technically is not a true one-shot sniper, but for some reason, when you go ahead and you throw on the incendiary ammo, I'm not sure if it was Testy or who found this, but I've seen a lot of talk in the sniper community that this is able to one-shot now within a certain range. Now, we're not sure if that's intended, if it's going to be updated over time, but even if it is not a full-on one-shot, this sniper, because of its sort of quick scoping capabilities, is really fun to use. And while it can't always one-shot over super long distances for aggressive snipers, I think this is pretty much the main choice here. Now, this is an optic that I'm okay with. I've just sort of learned to deal with it, so I actually go and use a stock instead of an optic in this case, but you could definitely mess around if you wanted to. The tac stock here, though, helps out with sprint speed and ADS speed. That's pretty clutch for an aggressive sniper, right? Just behind the face cam, I'm using the match grip, which is also better ADS speed. Sprint to fire too, but that doesn't matter too much. Olay laser, same deal as always there for the better ADS speed. Then once more, the Nil Sound 90 suppressor. This is just going to give you so much added velocity that it really helps out with that sort of bullet drop and bullet lead skill gap there that you don't have to do as much with this on there, and that's why you'll see this pretty much on every single sniper loadout today. But honestly, from what I've used of this, it actually is a ton of fun. It's very refreshing to have a sniper that doesn't feel like it weighs 2 tons when you're running around. Definitely great for a more aggressive play style. Now, as we continue on through the list here today, quick reminder, if you guys are new here, every day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, whether it's meta breakdowns, updates, patch notes, you name it, it is all right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. And if you enjoy the video, if you find it helpful at all, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. And quick shout out to my friends over at Gamer Advantage. By now, I'm sure you've heard, I've got my very own Gamer Advantage bundle. This actually comes with a custom pair of Inferno frames. It's got a little tiger claw scratch etched into the lens there, obviously with the channel logo and everything. And then there's also an accessory kit available as well without the glasses bundle if you already got yourself a pair of GA frames. This comes with a custom Iron Tiger cleaning cloth, a sticker, a carrying case, all sorts of cool stuff there. If you throw in code WhosImmortal at checkout on anything at all on the Gamer Advantage site, you get that nice little discount. Link for that will be down in the description below. Now, at number 2, I've got the Signal. This is the one sniper on the list here today that cannot one-shot. You might be saying, okay, well, then why is it number 2? And quite frankly, it's just because of the spammability factor here, if you want to phrase it like that. Because this is not bolt action, you can consistently fire back to back to back to back, and you don't have that waiting time in between. So if you hit, an upper body shot and break their armor with that first shot, right away, you can fire that second shot and get that knock. It's a lot more forgiving than every other sniper on the list here today. And because you don't have to use the explosive ammo, this thing has the best velocity out of all these snipers by a mile. So it's really easy to bullet lead and account for bullet drop over long distances. So this is a super straightforward sniper. So initially here, I've got the inline stock, better sprint speed, better ADS speed, similar to the one over on the SPX. I'm back to the 6.6 times optic here yet again, just not super huge on the base scope here. Olay laser on here as well for that faster ADS. High velocity, obviously for the better velocity stat, we're tuning to enhance that even more, so that's going to be clutch. And then we stack Nil Sound 90 on top of that. It's going to have that minimal ADS decrease. You can kind of gain that back with the tuning there, then also tune for that better velocity as well. So this is a dominant sniper if you are accurate consistently, right? You have to hit those shots back to back to back. But if you can do that, this thing is really good. And then lastly here, we've got the MCPR. Before it was restricted and ranked with the one-shot knocks, this was my go-to choice. And now in pubs, I'm still loving this as well. It's the least bogged down, I guess you could say, heavy sniper here between the Intervention and the Victus. This has got that slightly more aggressive feel to it. And it's still, about the same in terms of what you got to learn for the bullet drop and bullet lead as the other ones. So it's just more aggressive in that sense, which I find to be a huge pro. Now in this case, I'm trying out a different scope, the Forge Tac Delta 4. It works well for me. I've sort of grown accustomed to this over my gameplay with it, so it works well for me. If you like it as well, feel free to run it. If there's a different scope you like, always go for your level of comfortability there. That matters the most. I actually go for the 5-round mag here instead of a laser because this is also going to straight up increase that ADS speed, which is nice, but you don't have a laser on your screen, so you're not necessarily giving off your position. Of course, we're using explosive ammo. We have to have that on there. Nil Sound 90 yet again. And then I go for the OMX barrel. Yes, it helps out with the control and range. That's not really relevant on a sniper setup. I only care about the added velocity here. So that's the nice added bonus there again to get that velocity stat back up to at least somewhat decent because explosive ammo over here is taking so much of it away. With that being said, those are the top 5 best sniper setups to be running here in Warzone right now. And that's going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed the video or if you found it helpful at all, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.